Rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to call to order the regular town council meeting for the town of Hudson on September 15th at 6 o'clock. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Stadler. Here. Councilmember Knopf. Here. Councilmember Chavez. Here. Councilmember Hammack.
Here.
Councilmember Warren.
Here.
Mayor Hargis.
Here. Are there any additions to the agenda?
No, ma'am.
There's a part in our meeting for citizens' comments. Anybody wishing to address the council on anything that is not already set for public hearing on the agenda may do so at this time. Please step forward, state your name and address, and let us know what you have to say. And it doesn't look like anybody online or in the meeting are stepping forward. Consent agenda. Has everybody had a chance to read through the consent agenda? And if there are no questions, I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Chavez.
Yes.
Councilmember Knopf.
Yes.
Councilmember Warren.
Yes.
Councilmember Stadler.
Yes.
Councilmember Hammack.
Yes.
Mayor Hargis.
Yes. 2A, Hudson County Road 49 annexation. I'd like to open the public hearing for the Hudson County Road 49 annexation, resolutions 2132 and 2133, as well as the zoning ordinance 2112, making certain findings of fact regarding the proposed annexation and zoning of unincorporated territory located in the county of Weld, Hudson County Road 49, annexations 1 and 2 respectively, and zoning 1, and ordinances 2110 and 2111 annexing to the town a parcel of unincorporated territory located in the county of Weld, Hudson County Road 49, annexations number 1 and 2, and zoning at 6:01. Will the clerk state the purpose of the hearing?
A public hearing for Hudson County Road 49 annexation resolutions 21-32 and 21-33, making certain findings of fact regarding the proposed annexation of unincorporated territory located in the county of Weld, Hudson County Road 49, annexations number 1 and number 2 respectively, and ordinances 21-10 and 21-11, annexing to the town a parcel of unincorporated territory located in the county of Weld, Hudson County Road 49, annexation number 1 and number 2 respectively, and ordinance 21-12, zoning the newly annexed Hudson County Road 49, annexation number 1 and 2.
Was the notice for this evening's hearing published in the local newspaper?
Yes, the public hearing was advertised for annexations in the August 11th, 2021 Greeley Tribune, and was then noticed for consecutive weeks thereafter. The zoning was also noticed on August 25th per our requirements, and all of the notices associated with that per the Colorado revised statutes, that meaning we sent certified notice to adjacent owners and sent notice to the Weld County Board of County Commissioners and their attorney's office. All of those were also done in addition to all of the zoning notice requirements in our code. I packaged all of the requirements together for all intents and purposes.
Thank you. I will first recognize the town planner to present comments on the proposal. I will then recognize the applicant to present any information or answer any questions, which we are the applicant. I will then recognize members of the audience who wish to speak to the council regarding the request. All wishing to speak may come forward one at a time to the podium, sign in, state your name and address for the record. I now invite the town planner to make a presentation to the council.
All right, just a procedural comment before we get started and I go into my staff report. I just wanted to let you know the motions for this hearing due to the serial nature of this request, and serial not being my favorite podcast, but serial being typically a term used when annexations are divided to get contiguity, or contiguity is another fancy word for touching town limits. So the motions are very specific and they've been specified in your RCA and in the ordinance as well. So if you refer to that when you're ready to do motions, I just wanted to kind of give you that preface before I start my staff report. So regarding the annexation, so the county is the current owner of the subject section of County Road 49 right-of-way. They've petitioned annexation to us. In addition, initially zoning comes with the annexation request. That's something we typically do. And this is for the segment of County Road 49 from the Ireland Reservoir number 5, which is where town limit ends right now, kind of closer to the Excel power plant or just east of the current BNSF Logistics Center, all the way down to County Road 52. And this is the 60-foot section of right-of-way as shown in, I actually put it in the Planning Commission staff report for reference. So the plat map is actually in there. And it's the, like I said, the straight 60-foot right-of-way section of this roadway all the way to County Road, or excuse me, State Highway 52. Sorry, I wanted to put County Road and State Highway together. So on July 21st, the substantial compliance hearing came before you, and via resolution 2124, council deemed the application sufficient and eligible for annexation. And then through resolution 2125, you all also conditionally approved an annexation agreement with the county, which is something we'll just say special to Weld County that the Board of County Commissioners does when they annex a piece of property to a town or a city. So that conditionally approved resolution, if this annexation is approved tonight, would be tacked onto that. I wanted to make a note of that because that's a process that already happened that I wanted to kind of refresh your memories, comes back into play if the annexation is approved. Oh, thank you. The properties proposed to be annexed consist of 2 right-of-way parcels of land. It's a total of a little over 4 acres of land. And currently in county right-of-way and county ownership, excuse me. In order to develop a road to one standard, that road needs to lie within one jurisdiction. So that's the impetus for this. If the road is completely within the town, the road gets developed to town standards. And so that's the impetus for this annexation, is to develop County Road 49 to town standards eventually, once the improvements have been permitted and are able to be constructed. Let's see here. There was one response to the annexation request from the town of Loch Buoy. They didn't have any objections to the annexation. That is an attachment to your RCA. I put it in there for the record. And let's see here. If approved tonight, the final reading for the ordinances associated with the annexations would be October 6th. We also put that in your packet and in your agenda so that anybody reading the packet or the agenda knows that the final reading for the ordinances is going to be at the next regular town council meeting. Let's see here, the zoning case information. So the town does have a policy of zoning roadways. Yes, this is a right-of-way, but we do have a policy of zoning our roadways. The proposal would be to zone the roadway A2. It's agricultural 2 zoning. Primarily, the lot sizes of each of the individual annexations are what drove the A2 zoning designation recommendation, but it is also agricultural in and around this road. So it's very compliant with the adjacent zoning in the county. See here. On September 8th, the Planning Commission also unanimously recommended approval of this zoning designation for the annexation if council does approve it. Let's see here. There was only one, or excuse me, there was no public comment made at the meeting. There was no public present at the meeting. And that was, like I said, a unanimous approval or recommendation of approval from the Planning Commission. I can answer any questions before you. Remember, your motions are very specific for both the annexation and the zoning. But I believe I'm definitely here for your questions. And I was trying to see if there was anybody online from the applicant, but it doesn't look like there is right now. So I could probably answer some questions for them.
There's a couple of people online.
And they may be public comment. Lacey, okay. So I rest until you have questions for me.
Is there any member of the public who wishes to address the council on this matter? If so, please sign in and state your name and address for the record. Anyone online wishing to address the council? Let the record know that nobody wants to address.
Ma'am?
Oh, go ahead.
Ma'am, my name is Courtney Monahan. I own the property right there that is on 52 and 49. And you're only talking about annexing just the road, am I correct?
We are annexing the right of way. The road may not be always aligned with where the actual legal right of way is. So we are annexing that straight 60 feet. As shown in the annexation plat, it's like I said, that line juts out a little bit. I know that was where the road is now, but that's not part of the, as I understand it, that's not part of the right of way that we're annexing. It's the 60 feet that used to rest on each side of the section, or the 30 feet that used to reside on each side of the section line. So that would be the straight up and down. I'm happy to share this map. I do believe it's in our packet. I don't know if that's easy enough to pull up. But yeah, so the little jog at the south end is likely not included in that 60 feet.
Right, because that is on my deed and it still shows as my property. You guys are just taking an easement across there, but that it was still my property on the, right there at 52 and 49.
And I'm looking at, I believe, the recorded exemption that you're referring to for the property. And there's a jog of 60 feet of right of way that goes off to the kind of the east side. And there's the straight north and south right of way that has always been there. That's
Right.
up and down 60-foot right of way is what we're discussing tonight. That's what's in the annexation plats.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry, I twisted around. I understand what you're saying now.
It was a good question.
All right, that's all I have.
Okay. Does any of the council have any further questions for the town planner?
So what was the purpose of doing this beginning? This professional anyway.
The BNSF development agreement for the logistics center requires improvements to 49 as part of their development agreement with us. And so they could develop it to two different standards that didn't seem, in terms, of future planning and transportation planning, that didn't seem like something we wanted to do, to have a big transition to county right of way and county standards and whatnot. So the county worked with us and we are now proposing to annex the property so that we can get it all built to one standard, to town standards.
And doesn't affect any properties there.
The right of way was the right of way that's being annexed right now that the county is under ownership of, has been in existence. This isn't new. This isn't like right of way that's being created with this plat like you sometimes see in subdivision plats. This is pre-existing right of way.
So the answer to your question is no, this does not affect any private property issues. This is just county right of way.
Right, sounds good.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Any other questions or comments from the council? Anything further from the citizens or public? There being no further discussion, I declare the public hearing is closed at 6:12. Council will now consider a motion on this matter. So looking for a motion on resolution 2132, making certain findings of fact regarding proposed annexation of unincorporated territory located in the county of Weld, Hudson County Road 49, annexations number 1 and 2 respectively, but we do have to have a motion and a vote on each one individually. So this one's on 3132.
Make a motion on resolution 21-32, resolution making certain findings of fact regarding the proposed annexation of the unincorporated territory located in the county of Weld, Hudson County Road 49, annexation number 1.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next motion on resolution 2133.
I make a motion to approve resolution 21-33, making certain findings of fact regarding the proposed annexation of unincorporated territory located in the county of Weld, Hudson County Road 49, annexation number 2.
That's second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is ordinance 2111, I'm sorry, 2110, annexing to the town a parcel of unincorporated territory located in the county of Weld, Hudson County Road 49, annexation number 1.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 21-10, an ordinance annexing to the town a parcel of the unincorporated territory located in the county of Weld, Hudson County Road 49, annexation number 1, first reading.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And ordinance 2111.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 21-11, annexing to the town a parcel of unincorporated territory located in the county of Weld, Hudson, Colorado, Road 49, annexation number 2. Second.
It's been moved and seconded on first reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And now 2112. Zoning the newly annexed Hudson County Road 49 annexation number 1 and 2, first reading for A2, zoning A2. I need a motion.
Okay. I make a motion to approve ordinance 21-12, zoning the newly annexed Hudson County Road 49, annexation number 1 and 2.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries on first reading. Okay. 2C, discussion recreation committee stipends. Who's got that?
Thank you, ma'am. This bubbled up from the rec committee. As you can see in the memo, they did discuss this and they've made a formal recommendation to the council for a stipend for between $50 and $150 per meeting. They've put their reasons in there. Recreation committee is the only committee in the town ordinances that requires a quorum but does not receive stipend. Stipend would incentivize new members to join and serve for the entire length of their term. Committee members do a lot of outside of the meetings, like research for events and preparation of materials. Committee members attend on average 1 event per month, and committee members spend gas and time building relationships for event participation and donations. As you can see, staff has asked 3 questions. Does the council want to approve stipends for recreation committee members? And if so, how much should those stipends be, and any other constraints or restrictions for the stipends? If this is something you'd like to do, then we will come back with ordinance resolution, whatever is appropriate.
And I do have one comment. If there are members of the recreation committee that are also members of town council, they are not eligible for the stipend because under Colorado law, a council member can't increase their own compensation during their term. And even though it's for different functions, it is still an increase in the compensation they receive. So Colorado law does not allow that.
Couldn't they be put on as like an ex officio, like planning commission, because we have council members of ex officio on planning commission who will go to planning commission while they're already on council and have to start at council and then still get paid as an ex officio on planning commission. So wouldn't that be kind of the same thing?
No, because here they're giving themselves a raise.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
the,
just thought maybe she
that's the
couldn't vote
difference.
on it, but I thought maybe if they went in as like an ex officio and we had that, then they could.
What the law says is a council member cannot enjoy an increase in compensation during their term, even if it's as an ex officio.
Okay.
So if I understand this correctly, there's no set, whatever amount we decide, every time they get together, then they get that. It could be 4 or 5 times a week.
Or is
Or
it
is it
just
only-
the meeting?
It's meetings. Yeah.
So just the one meeting.
Just like the planning commission, it's just during the meeting. Yeah.
How long do these meetings actually last?
2 or about an hour and a half.
Is it an hour and a half?
So I'm inclined to say no, just because right now, I mean, I've been to the recreation events recently and there's just not participation. We have a lot of funds going there and we're spending a lot of money that the town is just kind of throwing away right now. So maybe until after the budget meeting, we table this and see where we're at.
Would come from the Rec and Events Committee budget, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so they have a budget set.
I
but-
understand that, but we're also
yeah.
doing a budget meeting.
Yep,
this week.
Saturday.
So, I mean, that could potentially change as well.
Yeah, I think that's better tabled, and I'm honestly, I'm also leaning towards no, and the reason being is because there's a permanent employee designed to handle recreation event type stuff, and the recreation committee is just an advisory board. Whereas the planning commission doesn't have a directly employed employee, correct me if I'm wrong, on planning commission.
We do.
As an advisor, but not as part of.
A part of the committee or
She
part
stepped
of the
down
planning
from the
commission.
committee, I believe, is that correct? Yeah, she doesn't have a committee spot. She is like guide
Okay.
and all that,
Okay,
that come to
that
the
makes sense.
meetings as the employee, but has the,
And then I would also say that the budget was previously decided based on the context that they weren't getting paid. I think that's something we should review at the next meeting. If we're gonna add that, then it should be, we should address that in the budget. Because that changes the budget.
I agree. And I also would like to see more involvement in our events before we start paying, money for the people to make the events, because we haven't, I know COVID hit and we didn't have a lot, but now that we've been back up, I don't think there's been a lot of involvement in the event. And maybe at the budget meeting, we could talk about how to also change maybe the marketing of how they go about it to get more people to the events. I
How
don't know
many
if-
we do a year opposed to once a month. maybe.
Yeah,
These are things I think that are gonna come up, so that's why I feel like we should table it until
I agree.
those.
Well, and the
discussions come
total
along.
budget the Rec and Events Committee is going to be greatly affected by giving them a stipend. So let's definitely discuss over,
which then if it's greatly affected, it might make their events dwindle down a little bit.
right,
I
they
mean,
won't have as much money for events.
Right, which is
So-
why I think it should be tabled, because we don't know yet. We haven't really discussed it moving forward.
That makes perfect sense. So there we go. We're going to table it until after Saturday's budget.
Very good.
All right, staff report, Sky.
Thank you. Got a few issues. We were talking earlier about the railroad crossing. The crossing will be closed again next Monday. Burlington Northern and CDOT jointly funded that project. And they had a contract, and apparently Burlington Northern failed to finish the work in the contract, so they've got to shut it down next Monday.
Correct?
I'm sorry,
One day?
for now.
As far as we know.
Budget retreat. It'll be a little different this year. We open the doors at 8:30. We're not going to have a facilitator or a morning program, so we're going to get right into the budget. I'm creating a memo and getting that stuff to you. We'll do a light breakfast, coffee, juice available. Plan to begin around 9 a.m. and hopefully get you guys out around noon or a little after. I would like to put it on Zoom, so council and staff are welcome to participate remotely if they'd like. But I want to ask your guys' opinion on that. And I'll email a memo and documents to council, hopefully before the meeting. I'm working on that right now. Any concerns about having it on Zoom?
No, I think that's great because then citizens can hear it too if they want to, if they can't come.
Cleanup days are Friday and Saturday of this week. The information is online and was mailed to residents. Shred days for document shredding will be September 24th, and the details are also online. We told you we issued an RFP for building inspection services. Staff is going to recommend, out of the 3 responses we got, ProCode. ProCode's a Colorado company. So next meeting, we will expect to have resolutions approving ProCode and separating from Safe Built. And then it'll take about a month to do the transition. The CDOT project is nearing completion, believe it or not. They will update council at the October 6th meeting. They're scheduled to come in and speak to you. We did meet with an economic development consultant, and we have received a scope from this individual. So we would like to have this person attend a meeting so council can meet and ask questions of this individual and then see how you'd like to proceed from there. We did mail out the survey results, so I hope everybody got those, and they're also on the website. We mailed out a flyer to town for town cleanup day and alley cleanup. We do want to try our best to educate citizens about some of the code issues in town, and alleys are always one that catches people. You're responsible to the midline of the alley behind your property. So we got that information out and we'll start enforcing that. Hudson Hills resurfacing is completed. The second phase for completing Hudson Hills will be in the proposed budget that you will see Saturday. Lock Buoy and the Burlington Northern project. I've had 2 meetings in the last few weeks with the Lock Buoy town manager about the project. To date, we don't have any more information about what is going on down there. So we don't have any idea what the impacts will be any more than we had a year ago. It's still a bubble diagram on a map, although we know they've acquired property. So we don't really know where they're at with the interchange. We don't know what their water demands are, sewer demands, anything like that. So we keep calling each other and we don't really have much to say to each other. And then broadband is making good progress. The town has only received 1 complaint that we know of. I don't know if anybody else has, but in town we've received 1 complaint. Allo hangs door knockers a few days before, and they try to sign the area a few days before they go into a new area to perform the installations. And then the town receives a daily update and we have weekly status meetings. So they're making pretty good time and you can see them around town. And that is all I have.
Anybody have any questions for Guy?
Yeah, can we, for the budget meeting, can you bring a list of the road projects that were recommended when we did that road study?
Yes.
Have you gotten any headway on publishing the recordings online or making them available?
I have not.
And for the update from CDOT on the 6th, is it possible to have a representative from BNSF there as well to update on the railroad tracks?
I'll see.
And then yeah, I'll save that one for later. That's it.
Cory.
Just one item tonight. You may have seen that the Attorney General signed an agreement related to the opioid litigation that we are a party to. Long-term, what it means is that there will be both money available to the town and money available to the region for impacts related to opioids. So it could be things like furnishing our police department with more Narcan. It could be things like certain types of tracking vehicles that can read license plates, a whole host of things that can look at potential impacts from opioid litigation. I had a preliminary meeting this Monday with the Weld County Attorney, the Greeley Attorney's Office, and the Windsor Attorney's Office. Ultimately, the remainder of the Weld County communities will probably join, but it looks like because we were one of the original litigating entities, we would probably have a spot on the board for the regional allocation. So it's something to think about in terms of long-term, nothing to do yet. We don't have any more information yet, but whether you want an elected official on that board, whether you might want someone from your police department, someone else, but long-term, that's something that I'm going to bring back to you in terms of how you would like that representation on the regional council. So it is moving forward, and there will be money to the extent we have impacts, and I suspect we will be able to identify impacts to the town.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Cory? Thank you. Heather?
I do not have anything to report.
Jen? Hunter?
Good evening. Really, I only have one thing tonight. Just want to pass on, Saturday will be my last day with the town of Hudson. I'm moving on, starting my own business, and gonna see where that takes us from here on out. Been in government for 22 years, been with Hudson for almost 10 years. It's been a great time, had a lot of fun here, got some good stuff done with the town, and looking forward to moving on.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Miss you.
Lee will be taking over as the interim, and then we'll be posting an ad for a director position.
Can we post maybe two, one for the sewer plant and one for public works? Because I know that was originally what was supposed to happen and never did.
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
There
Hunter
was,
originally
yeah.
hired for sewer, but he got thrown into all of public works. I feel like we need two positions there because it's too much for one person to handle everything.
We can look at it, definitely.
I mean, because that's what Joe was supposed to do. And then when you got on, I felt it fell to you and that never happened. So
Okay, sure, we can look at that.
Thank you, Hunter.
You bet. Thanks, you guys.
yeah.
Jay?
I don't have a lot. We finally got our statistics done for the NIBRS report and the state NCIC report, and that'll be posted here probably tomorrow. And the only other thing is our homicide trial from a couple weeks ago did not go as well as we wanted to. We got one conviction and a mistrial on the other side, so we'll be going through that again starting next month. So that's the only thing I really have right now.
Yes.
Can I add something real quick just to embarrass Jay? Jay is going to be the recipient of the Sam Mamet Good Governance Award through the Colorado Municipal League. This is a statewide award. Sam Mamet's the former executive director of CML. And this is the second winner of this award. And the first winner last year was the mayor of Colorado Springs. So this is a fairly prestigious award. And I know he doesn't want to talk about it, but congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions or comments for Jay?
Yeah, I don't know if you had a chance to read the survey or the responses from the survey. But
Yes, I did.
They read it because they really spoke to how good of a job the police department's done over the past year.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We're working hard.
Yeah,
Still trying to get there.
it shows and you're making headway. So
Good.
Keep up the good.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No? Thank you. Daniel?
Two things. First one, when we have notices that are long running and a number of other newspapers, if we produce a Hudson Town newsletter in the interim, is it possible to add those notices to that newsletter as well?
Notices for like the public hearing?
We can add them, but we still have to do it in the newspaper.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You still have to do it in Greeley Tribune because it's a regularly distributed.
Exactly.
But I think if we, it might be good. Yep.
If I could just mention, if you want to be posted as an interested party, I can send notice as you as an interest, not you personally, but the HOA or whoever as an interested party, and send the notices just like I would to the newspaper or whatever. You just be an interested party add-on.
Is that an option on the website so everybody can?
I would love to start posting notices and packets on the website.
No, I meant as the option of signing up as an interested party. Is that available on the website?
It is not available necessarily on the website. Anybody could email the town or email me, say that they were an interested party. We can put information on the website about
be good.
becoming an interested party, for sure.
That would be good.
Yep.
And then the second thing is, I'm curious, I guess it's a question for Guy. What's your opinion on having Sophia from the rec department at town council meetings to provide an update as well?
I'm not sure if she can make it, but I'll see.
I've asked, she has another job too, so this is part-time. I've asked her to
Okay.
see if she can.
And you also have the chair of the committee here as well.
Okay. That's it. That's all.
Candace?
What is the town's policy on blocking right-of-ways on roads? Like when Hudson Hills just got their road done, there's only one way to get in and out. And for a while, you couldn't get in and out, and they didn't really accommodate that. I know some people in town have had like driveways put in and have been shut down for blocking roads. So what is the policy, especially when it affects multiple houses, not just a couple?
I don't believe we have a policy. When you're doing major construction, it's to have people that can wave people through and do one side of the road and the other. For people who are just doing work on their driveway, I don't think we have a policy in place. You have to have a right-of-way permit if you're gonna be in our right-of-way. Digging, I believe.
Is it possible that when you do the other roads in Hudson Hills, you make an alternative
Yes,
entrance? I mean, it won't be as affected this time because it's not the main,
it's not the main road coming in.
Entrance.
Yeah.
but it was pretty, like, it was like waiting at the railroad.
Maybe that's a policy we look into creating.
Anything else?
Nope.
Joe,
Nothing.
Sarah, Maria.
We just had some interest of some companies there for our Christmas parade and the Halloween trunk or treat.
The Christmas parade and trunk or treat. That's good. That means we're going to have a Christmas parade this year.
Yes.
Only thing I have is, again, would you guys like to get a table for the Southeast Weld Chamber dinner?
When is it again?
October 9th
I'm out of town.
on that Saturday. That's a Saturday.
If I'm the only one, then no.
Joe wants to go
Yeah.
really bad.
I'll go.
Okay, so we need to get a table for that. The other thing is just to remind everybody of the budget retreat Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. And that's all I have. It's time for citizens' comments. Anybody wishing to address the council on anything that was brought up in tonight's meeting may do so at this time. Just step forward to the podium, state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes to address the council. And doesn't look like anybody is coming forward. Maria?
I'm gonna make a motion that we go into executive session pursuant to section 3.12, 1E of the Hudson Home Rule Charter of Personal Matters, except if the employee who is the subject of this session has requested an open meeting, or if the personnel matter involves more than one employee. All of the employees have requested an open meeting regarding a review of the town manager.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are now headed into executive session. Thank you, everybody.
Are we going to the room?